Hey everyone, it's Melvin. Doing our newest series. It's called Ask the Experts. Today, super happy to have Samantha Lim from Slim Studios, an interior design studio here in Vancouver. And we're going to ask her some commonly asked questions from our clients, and hopefully she can answer. All right, so the first question that we got asked a lot was, what's the first step when starting a design project?
That's a really great question. So when I first meet a client, I always ask, what's the design purpose? So are we renovating to sell, or are we living in it? Are you starting a new family there, or are you just here because you want to renovate and entertain in your new home or expand the space? So there's just a lot of reasons and a lot of detailed questions that I like to ask the clients before we start the design project.
All right, so the next question, which everyone wants to know, is usually, because we're in Vancouver, how can you turn a smaller space to make it feel larger without spending a lot of money?
One would be opening up the space with color. What I do is, I think a lot of the times when you're in a home, and older homes have lower ceiling heights and darker colors, I usually like to lighten things up, especially adding a fresh coat of paint. That kind of helps open things up. Also, rearranging the furniture, just making the space feel more functional instead of just having large, let's say you're in an apartment. You don't want to have a big sectional sofa because that takes up a lot of the space, even though it's comfortable, right? We are designing for function and for form, not just for beauty. And so as a designer, that's something that I can do on a floor plan and help kind of rearrange the space, as well as changing the color palette.
Going along with the upgrades and updates, one of the most common question is, what's a budget-friendly upgrade that has a lasting impact?
I mean, that's a great question, and that's the question that everybody has. I personally think that lighting makes a huge difference. I think that lighting can be very dated, and if we change them even to LEDs, that can, one, brighten the space, add a lot of lumens to the space, and two, everybody knows it's paint. Brighten up the space and kind of give it more life.
So the next question that we got asked a lot was, how do you choose the colors and furniture that will last you, I guess, during the time you're living there?
That's honestly one of the hardest questions to answer because, one, I think that people jump into buying all the furniture right away because they're just so excited to move into a new space. That is one of the biggest problems, because then you end up not having the budget for, let's say, the couch you really want, and then you end up filling the whole thing with IKEA, and that's not going to be timeless for a very long time. For me, I think furniture is so personal, and I prefer my clients to almost slowly purchase the furniture and maybe keep some old things while they're, let's say, saving up for 2 armchairs that they really love. It's just so personal, and the items are high ticket items, so you don't want to just go ahead and purchase them without thinking. And people always think you have to stick with something neutral, but I personally don't think so. I love when my clients go for a cognac color couch and then, maybe keep things neutral on the walls, or, bring in pops of wood. The most timeless things, in my opinion, would be beautiful materials instead of spending money on just having kind of cookie cutter colors, but spending money on let's say a solid wood table or a well-constructed couch.
Mm-hmm. So last question. In your opinion, what type of renovation will give you the best return on your investment?
With that one, I think the best return on investment is usually a 1-bedroom to 2-bedroom condo. I think renovating a home can be quite a huge undertaking, and also you need a lot more money to, let's say, renovate the kitchen and the bathrooms of a home. Whereas I think in an apartment, especially 1-bedrooms, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the best return on even a sale or something, if you were to buy, let's say,
this more smaller stuff this.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that is definitely, so just renovating a 1-bedroom condo, I think you could definitely buy an older condo and renovate it with better, fresher, newer finishes and colors. And I think that usually sells the best, just because like coming into the market, people aren't able to purchase like big giant homes, right? So people are looking for a move-in ready place, and usually that's like a 1-bedroom den or like 2-bedroom.
So thanks for watching this episode with Samantha. If you want to learn more about Slim Studios, or if you want to work with Samantha for your interior design project that's upcoming, make sure to reach out to her, and make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube to stay tuned on to our next episode.